So with me is Jason Moorhouse, and we are looking forward to, is it called an extraordinary, Tynwald on Tuesday. Now you've got, what, 5 questions?
Yeah.
But you want them asked before anything else happens?
I'm hoping that's the case, because that's what usually happens, but there is indication that they could come after the debate, which will be concerning.
Now the debate is about where we're going, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, this is an extraordinary thing because we've got to get something sorted. But your questions, what are you bringing up?
I'm really looking at 5 of my key concerns in terms of, in the debate I can raise issues, but it's down for the Minister to actually give a response to what I've said. So I could raise 5 issues and he could choose to focus on the most insignificant. So I feel that to have 5 clear questions linking to key aspects, that provides some clear material that myself and other members of Tynwald have got in their back pocket.
What are you asking?
The first one I'm asking is about support for small businesses, because I feel that's a key one just in terms of moving things forward, that, you know, it's not just the businesses that we know are in trouble or suffering, it's those kind of key established businesses that think, they've grown, they've done well, and they're saying, we're hearing on the news, they're struggling.
But he will answer that. I mean, surely in his statement, that's what he's going to deal with. You going first is going to...
Well, okay, so there's another question linking to the buses. So there's a maximum bus fare of £2 on all buses from the 1st of November. Now, there are only 10 buses that go from the south of Castletown Square that get you into Douglas before 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, the problem is that many of these buses are already quite busy. Now, if I live in Rushen and I'm thinking I can travel every day up to Douglas and back for a small amount of money...
£2?
Well, £2 each journey, so £4, so it's £20.
You go over to Ramsey if you want to. Presumably, can you?
It's probably 2 tickets then.
Is it? It's not a 3 ticket. All right,
it's 4 tickets,
that.
So
you have to stop.
You might be better off with a day whatever it's called.
Yes, it's probably those.
But yes, so that issue is, in terms of the commuters who've paid for annual tickets, will they be guaranteed seats? Because there's going to be nothing worse on the 1st of November if I'm in Castletown Square with 20 constituents who should be in Douglas for 9 o'clock and the bus drives past saying...
No one's going to know until it starts. I mean, obviously, they won't know the uptake.
Well, that's the problem. They know exactly how many seats there are on the buses that are leaving Castletown Square. Yeah. So they know what the rough demand is and how much availability there is. Now, the Minister has made it quite clear that this is available for commuters. Now, if there's only 100 seats available... then
but surely they can react to that once it starts.
Yeah, and that's why I'm suggesting they should actually test this out the week before in the school half term. They can bring extra buses in and adjust the system accordingly.
Start a £2 fare then, you mean?
Well, yeah.
Because that's the carrot, isn't it, this whole thing?
Definitely. Okay. But you can't start on the 1st of November when schools are back there, there's a lack of capacity, and potentially people will be left in Castletown Square not able to get to work.
It's 2 down. Next.
The other one's linking to the actual green levy and the way in which the grant's there, but it's been widened and made more attractive. But at the same time, if you need to get a loan, you're going through commercial banks and things to get the money to pay for these things. And I'm saying, well, if we're actually really serious about this, is there a way to make this money available and people can pay back and insulate their homes, produce the power they need, and also in terms of the power, if they've got a desire to increase what the report suggests, is the mechanism there to do it? So things like that. So in terms of the questioning, it's quite intricate looking at the specific problems we've got now and then getting the Minister to give us clear answers that are responding to what the changes they're wanting to make. Because I think in the actual debate itself, we're going to be focusing more on the key areas and saying, OK, this is good, but have you looked at this?
Do you get Mr Cannon's speech before he says it? I mean, will you have a briefing almost? I mean, quite often these days, you get the briefing and then you go and have the sort of public version of it.
There's no additional briefing planned as we speak, but which is quite an interesting one, because given that it's positive that the people are going to hear it as we hear it. We had the workshop and the presentation a couple of weeks ago, but that was before we actually had the production of the document. So it's kind of quite a big thing. And I'm really quite concerned that rather than a solution to the problem, we've got a solution to the problems. Because the government had three major issues. There's the problem of bus vanning. It's got a really bad reputation. This policy of the £2 a ticket will hopefully improve perception of bus vanning again. They've got a massive problem with the MUA, that it's been supporting the local people, local businesses to such an extent that the cost could be pushing at £50 million and no one's been told. So it's kind of, how do we deal with that? But also, how do we deal with the 70% potential increase in energy prices for electricity? So that had to be dealt with. And then with also the issue in terms of the green grant, in terms of we've got this in existence, we've got thousands of people who applied for it. At the time, we're down to 2 people who'd actually got the grant and were having the stuff implemented. We're now up to 24, and then was increasing rapidly.
Is there too much bureaucracy then on this?
I think so, yeah. And it's also that issue that by not explaining to the people as we go along, we end up with a massive lump, and then we have to kind of deal with that lump rather than actually explain to the people what is being done. And now we're trying to find these solutions that are hopefully going to benefit everyone.
When will you find out if you're allowed to ask your questions? I mean, as you say, it should happen before his statement, but will they tell you beforehand? Or
yes, it's going to be done as part of the political process. So there is that potential that the questions will come after, which I'm hoping we don't get into that situation, because not to be able to ask the questions subsequently after we've agreed to something is going to be quite irrelevant, because that key question in terms of what is the MUA's financial position at the moment? How much does the MUA spend on this up to the 31st of March 2022? What is spent between then and the 1st of September? How does that relate to the £26 million that the Treasury Minister is making available to ensure the electricity prices will stay where they are until next March? It doesn't make sense.
2 things very quickly. Do you think this should have happened earlier, this bringing back of the Tynwald? And secondly, do you have faith in what you're going to hear? I know you haven't heard it, but do you have faith in what Mr Cannon, for instance, delivering?
I feel that they've produced something that's overly complicated. They've gone for things that aren't instantly going to benefit local business and local people. You could argue I'm wrong in terms of electricity. That's going to have a direct positive impact, and avoiding the 70% increase is really, really good. But at the same time, playing around with a green grant that could have been sorted elsewhere, the £2 bus fare is not a major saving,
Well, the UK's following our lead, by the looks of it, in places.
But as far down as Castletown, you're only paying £2.70 for the single journey to Douglas.
Oh, I see.
So only saving 70 pence, which isn't a massive sum. Further away from Douglas you are, greater the savings. That's why I'm concerned about people who are living in Arbory, Castletown and Malew, because by the bus gets to us, it could be full.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. And anyway, you can see also your interview about the last year and this year as well. And more questions, no doubt, coming up.
I'd be surprised if there are no questions, but one can never tell. Everything could be perfect next year.